Welcome to another episode of Way Out Wednesday. I'm Dr. Ashley Southard coming to you from Scottsdale, Arizona with a new beginning outpatient treatment center and the Healthy Way Out emotional and binge eating program. Now this month, I am dedicating these videos to debunking the mantra, New Year, New You. This is not about changing you. You are not broken and you are not defective. In order to achieve your health and weight-related resolutions, we don't need to change you. Instead, we need to adopt the mantra, New Year, New Approach. So I am here to help you understand how to take a different approach to resolving your emotional and binge eating in a way that will really help you find lasting freedom from food. Now, in the last 3 videos, I reviewed 3 main components that we here at The Healthy Way Out believe are imperative to helping you resolve emotional and binge eating. I talked about the emotional aspects of your relationship with food, the psychological underpinnings that drive you to overeat even when you're not hungry and even when you're wanting to lose weight. I gave you some tips for how to address those emotional issues. And you can also check out the videos from November 2017, where I address some of the most common emotional and psychological triggers that will drive people to overeat. I also this month addressed the nutritional aspect of your relationship with food, helping you move away from restrictive and rigid dieting and towards an intuitive eating approach where you're eating all foods in moderation, eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're satisfied, and making sure that you are enjoying foods for both nutrition and pleasure. I also, in one of the videos, addressed the issue of exercise. Again, helping you move away from rigid, punitive exercise plans that can be pretty hardcore and something that you really can't sustain, and moving more towards an intuitive movement approach where you are incorporating a lot of different movements in ways that are both good for your physical body and also your emotional self. Now, typically, when somebody is wanting to work on their emotional and binge eating, they think that just focusing on the diet and or the exercise components are going to be the thing that causes the change, right? And you just focus on food, you just focus on moving, and invariably, they don't work. You've tried countless diets and exercise plans, I'm sure, and yet you still find yourself feeling out of control with food. Well, what our culture tends to forget is that even when we put together the best laid plans, we are, at the end of the day, complex, emotional creatures. We make decisions not only from a logical, planned out place, but also from an emotional, what am I in the mood for place? So sometimes you find yourself making decisions that are very much in line with the plan you created and the values that you have. And sometimes you probably find that you're making decisions simply based on what you're in the mood for and how you're feeling in that moment. And this is why even the best diet and exercise plans don't work if they're too rigid and too restrictive. Now, on the other side of the continuum is focusing on the emotional aspect of why you overeat. Sometimes people think if they just focus on that and work on the emotional and psychological pieces, that will resolve their emotional and binge eating. But again, just like narrowly focusing on diet and exercise doesn't work, neither does narrowly focusing on the emotional and psychological aspects. It is necessary, but as we say in the research world, it's not sufficient. So what we want to do is instead take a new approach to resolving the emotional and binge eating. And that new approach is going to be comprehensive and integrated, in which all 3 of these components that I just talked about are being addressed at the same time. What this means is that you are tackling the emotional and binge eating by looking at the emotional aspect of why you're overeating, looking at the nutritional aspect of how to nourish your body without dieting, and also learning how to move your body in ways that are effective and enjoyable. It's this three-pronged approach that will get you sustainable results. This is what is going to move you away from the out of control emotional and binge eating and towards a feeling of being in control and being able to move and eat and regulate your emotions with moderation and flexibility. So we want to get away from just focusing on diet and exercise or just focusing on the emotional and psychological issues. We have to start putting them all together in a complex, integrated way. And if you can start to do this in very small, bite-sized steps, I'm very confident that you are going to achieve lasting freedom from food. It is absolutely possible. It happens here every day at our treatment center. And we know that this new year must take on a new approach that is integrated and comprehensive. And when you do this, you are going to get the results that you're not only looking for, but that you most definitely deserve. Okay, so that is your task in the coming weeks, to really start to take small steps towards looking at your emotional health, your nutritional health, and your physical movement health. Revisit the past episodes. I give you some real hands-on, tangible tips for how you can start to incorporate those components into your resolution of emotional and binge eating. Okay, so this year, no diets. We are taking a three-pronged approach, and we're going to go slow and steady. That is how you achieve sustainable, lasting freedom from food. All right, I will be back here in February for a new topic. We are actually going to be talking about how to love your body. I know you hear it all the time. You're probably even rolling your eyes right now thinking, oh my gosh, not that again. But you know what? I'm going to actually give you some tips for how you really can learn to love your body. Yes, it is possible, and I'm going to help you. All right, have a wonderful week. I will see you back here next week. Take care. Bye-bye.